Now I know what you're thinking. Autumn, it's Solitaire, how hard could it be? Actually really hard, like surprisingly hard. Solitaire belongs to a class of problems known as NP, which basically means that if you already know the order of moves to win, it's very easy to verify that it works, but actually finding those moves is difficult. Researchers have been analyzing Solitaire for decades now, and it's highly unlikely that we'll ever find a general solution with current mathematics. Still, progress has been made, and I want to share some of that progress with you today. For this video, we're going to focus on one-card Klondike Solitaire, which is easier and less popular than the three-card variant, but as you're about to see, analyzing it is already quite complicated. The source material for this video is an undergraduate thesis called Klondike Solitaire Solvability. I'll include a link in the description. I'm going to assume you know the rules of Solitaire already. You move the cards around the stacks, you want to send them all home, etc. And if you know anything about Solitaire, you know that sometimes you lose just because you made a mistake, but other times you lose because the board itself is unwinnable. The question is, how do you tell which is which? To answer this question, we have to introduce the concept of solving a card. This is different from just sending the card home because you can also solve a card by moving it onto a different one. Essentially, this queues up the card to be sent home later, so we can consider it solved in that it will eventually find its way home. This means that there are two ways to solve a card. You can either send it home directly, or you can find one of the two receiving cards where you can store it for later. Aces are always solvable, and kings are a special case that are solved by empty spaces. From here, we can start to derive some properties of entire Solitaire boards. A board is winnable if and only if every card can be solved, and a card is unsolvable if all of its solutions are permanently blocked. The simplest unsolvable configuration involves one face-up card and three face-down cards beneath it. If those three cards contain the face-up card's two receivers as well as one lower card of the same suit, then that card is permanently blocked. A corollary to this is that stacks with one or two face-down cards can never be permanent blockers. For this reason, opening up larger stacks earlier reduces the chance of getting blocked. Even trickier is when multiple stacks block each other. For example, in this configuration, the 4 of diamonds can be solved by any of the 3 cards under the 2 of clubs, the 3 of diamonds, the 5 of clubs, or the 5 of spades. But to access them, we would need to move the 2 of clubs, and all of its solvers are blocked as well. The 3 of diamonds is behind the 2, and the 3 of hearts and ace of clubs are behind the 4. In this configuration, there's no way to ever move the 4 or the 2, so those cards are permanently blocked, making the entire board unsolvable. These interlocking positions can become quite complex. In the original paper, Miko used this example in which the 7 of diamonds blocks the 3 of diamonds, and its 2 other solvers are hidden behind the 9 of spades. The 9 is unsolvable because it blocks the 8 of spades, and the 2 red 10s that could help can't be placed in the stacks. And that's because you would need black jacks to receive the 10s, and the red queens that could receive the jacks are themselves blocked by the 7 and 9. I know, it's pretty complicated. Pause the video if you want to take it in. This example is pretty intricate, and it's still tame compared to the other tangles that Solitaire can create. You've probably run into boards that have 3 or 4 unsolvable stacks linked together, and while you knew the board was unsolvable, you might not have known why. So why is this significant? In the field of Solitaire analysis, researchers have essentially been using a brute force search to find solutions. In other words, training a computer to play Solitaire really fast. I know the term brute force makes it sound kind of naive, but the techniques used to narrow search are really sophisticated. For example, an older and still used technique is to exploit dominances, or moves that you know won't affect the solvability of the board, like sending certain cards home. Anything you can do to narrow the search space makes your program that much faster, and Miko's analysis allows a program to figure out whether or not a board is unsolvable without even playing a move. This saves you a ton of computer time that can then be spent on other boards. The catch is that this technique only catches about 2.24% of unsolved boards. Previous research estimates that around 18% of boards are unsolvable, so there's still work to be done in catching the other 16. Still, 2% of 52 factorial is billions of saved compute cycles, and future research can build on this technique to catch even more. I intend to keep up with the field of Solitaire research and hopefully raise my abysmal 57% win rate. Thanks for watching, subscribe for more. If you like this video, please consider subscribing to me on Patreon. You'll gain access to a Discord server where I'm active every day, and also a new show called The Weekly Babble, where I ramble about my many special interests, including books, music, chess, the fate of humanity, and whether or not pineapple belongs on pizza. Click the link in the description to check it out.